If you ask any working class American how they perform the most important transactions in their lives, whether it's taking out a mortgage, signing a contract, or picking up a prescription, they'll tell you it requires basic identity verification, physical accountability, and a clear chain of custody. Yet, when it comes to the single most sacred act of self governance in a constitutional republic, casting a vote, the political establishment and the corporate media insist that basic security measures are an unnecessary burden. Welcome to the mechanics of the mail-in ballot machine. What was once an emergency measure reserved strictly for deployed military service members, the infirm, or citizens traveling out of state, has been turned into a permanent mass distribution system across dozens of states. We're no longer talking about requested absentee voting. We're talking about an unmonitored infrastructure of unsolicited ballot mailings, drop boxes without physical guards, and outsourced signature verification. The radical left wants you to believe that questioning this machine is an attack on democracy, but a post-game breakdown of the math proves the exact opposite. A system that strips away the chain of custody doesn't protect democracy. It dilutes the legitimate vote of every citizen who shows up in person. We've got to look at how election administration was fundamentally transformed, because the difference between a requested absentee ballot and a mail-in system is night and day. When a voter proactively requests an absentee ballot, a paper trail is established. The local clerk verifies that the registered citizen asked for the ballot, logs their current address, and tracks its return. The mass mail-in machine destroys that entire verification protocol. In states that automatically mail ballots to every single name on bloated, outdated voter rolls, millions of paper ballots are thrust into the wind weeks before Election Day. They land in multi-unit apartment building hallways, discarded mailroom bins, and vacant residencies where former tenants haven't lived in years. This isn't a theoretical flaw. It is an operational disaster. When millions of live ballots are floating around outside a secure precinct, it creates a lucrative market for third-party ballot harvesters and political activists who operate in the shadows. The corporate press loves to claim that signature verification acts as a foolproof safeguard, but election workers in major municipal hubs are routinely given mere seconds per ballot to compare signatures on an electronic screen under intense political pressure to clear the backlog. They are effectively asking poll workers to perform forensic handwriting analysis under impossible conditions. When you remove the in-person standard, eliminate the requirement for government-issued photo identification, and replace precinct monitoring with a postal route, you break the fundamental chain of custody that guarantees public confidence in the result. The battle over the mail-in ballot machine is reaching a critical boiling point as we move through 2026. Citizens across the heartland are demanding a return to single-day in-person voting with paper ballots and a standard photo ID. Look at what's happening in Congress and state legislatures across the country. Legislative efforts like the Mail Ballot Integrity Act And state-level election security bills are aiming to end the mass distribution of unsolicited ballots and restore uniform national standards for federal elections. State lawmakers are moving to ban unmonitored drop boxes, mandate strict chain of custody logs, and clean up bloated voter rolls by cross-referencing national databases. Yet, every single time a state legislature moves to secure its election grid, the protest industrial complex launches a relentless media and legal campaign. They deploy high-priced legal networks to file federal lawsuits claiming that requiring a photo ID or restricting ballot harvesting is voter suppression. Think about the sheer insult of that narrative. They're telling you that everyday working Americans are incapable of acquiring a free state ID or getting to a damn precinct. It's a condescending shield designed to protect a system that benefits machine politics. They want a lawless, borderless, and ballot-heavy environment where unelected political operatives can gather votes long after the polls close. But the American people have had enough. We want elections where the outcome is clear, transparent, and settled on election night, not weeks later behind closed doors in a county election building. The mail-in ballot machine survives on public apathy, but the silent majority is wide awake. A secure vote is the bedrock of private property, individual liberty, and state sovereignty. Without secure elections, the consent of the governed becomes a hollow phrase. Don't let the media shame you into staying quiet about election integrity. Demand that your state and local representatives enforce strict voter ID laws. Eliminate third-party ballot harvesting and protect the sanctity of the ballot box. Stand strong in your community. Show up in person to cast your vote. And never surrender the right to a clean, fair, and honest election. Stand with me, support the mission, refuse the silence. I'll see you next time.